Hey cousins, and happy belated Juneteenth. Um, Today when I'm recording this, it is I think the 21st, 20th. I think it's the 21st, Sunday. But your girl is hungover. I had a blast this past weekend, but definitely drank a lot. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't even that drunk either. That's what's like. Yeah, I don't know. I did have fun though. So I kind of want to talk. I kind of want to talk about so many different things, but I feel like since on my timeline it's Juneteenth, I'm gonna talk about that. So, excuse me. See, my brain is so fried still. It's like it's 8 o'clock in the afternoon. I only woke up. I woke up a while ago, but I really have a torn relationship with Juneteenth, because it celebrates when we actually became free despite slavery becoming illegal. And the more I think about it, like, we see timelines and like we talk about dates and numbers, but the more I think about like 200 years of enslavement, like that's more than multiple generations of families, but that's multiple like that's multiple centuries, that's multiple decades, that's multiple evolutions within humanity and society for y'all to just be eating motherfuckers, like. And then to think that I want to say it's only been about 160 years since we've been free. It's like, first of all, as a black American, I never claimed to be anything other because I'm American. I was born here. Like, that's something you can never take from me. Um, but at the same time, I know that what white America and oppression has done to black Americans is like so far gone and so bad that I really don't see us like living kumbaya, like symbiotically after this. Like, I realistically do think we need our own half of this country or whatever, in the sense that like we just need to be left the fuck alone. In all honesty and truth, we just need to be left the fuck alone. And for all black Americans, we know that the reality of living here is that there is two worlds or two Americas. There's black America and white America, especially because of the environments and the things that are allowed socially in those worlds. Um, I feel like I could go so much further into that, but I feel like I summed it up well, like briefly. Some of the things that are accepted in white culture or society are definitely not accepted in black culture and society, and vice versa. And an example of that could just be like how I said in my last video, white people shit. Like, we don't realistically in black America see the like reasoning or reality of having like free time when you're always trading your time for money. And so that's like very deeply different culturally things that are engraved in us, like, and belief wise. Like, I even, when I think about some of my like mutuals who are mixed and grew up in like very racist households, they tell me like, yeah, no, like they're blatantly like that, like at home and shit. And it's like, oh, like, and so like you're brought up knowing how they really are while still having to coexist. You get what I mean? Coexist and be loving towards these people. I feel like even when it comes to just like racism and oppression, there's nothing that anyone could say to make that shit okay. And I've been having the thought a lot lately, like just about lawsuits. Like, I don't know much about the law, and I've always kind of been interested in the law and things like that. Y'all, look at my hair, look at my ponytail. I've always been interested in those kind of things, but the reality is that I'm not a lawyer. I didn't go to law school, but I frequently think about essentially how we can use this shit, spin it against them, right? Because we know that when it comes to getting reparations or getting any kind of recognition from specifically America as to what has happened to us, there there will be like much to it'll be a lot of resistance. And so my thing is like we know these things about how horrible our ancestors were treated because of evidence. And so with that, I'm like, we need to use that same fucking evidence in a court of law against them. And specifically a higher court of law than just fucking America, right? Because at this point we know that American judicial system is always going to benefit white people first. And then two, at this stage of America or capitalism that we're currently at, we know everything is very tied in with MAGA and Israel. So it's like, how do we effectively say we have evidence for what was done and this is why we deserve what, what we're asking for? Because even still, I don't think that we're asking for enough. We live in a society where corporations and billionaires get to profit billions of dollars yearly off of our bodies, no matter your race, but just how capitalism is functioning. And so, even one of the things I think about a lot is that like in like middle school, I was taught that like monopolies were illegal, and so I'm like, how the fuck are we currently in 2026 living in a monopoly? Because like I said, I don't know much about legal system or whatever like that, but I know if it walk like a duck and a quack like a duck, it's a fucking duck. So that's why I think also it's really disheartening to see how many people are just still going kind of with the flow of things when almost everything has been exposed to us. Like, how could you? I'm gonna simply say, how could you put your money with someone who is outwardly against you? That's all I'm gonna say. I just think not to be like we're too far gone, like America's too far gone, but like I don't see, especially like integration. Well, integration was not necessarily for our benefit. So now I'm like, what would a world and a society look like that is for us? Because we know that they'll do everything in their power to keep that from us and to destruct it. But in reality, like, what steps could we take to get closer to that? I think I just see my mentor. riding by on her bike. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to tell you that. So yeah, like how can we realistically be like, you cannot deny the facts? And I think that's oftentimes what what's going on when you're being gaslit. People try to deny the facts and push their motives when in reality it's like, no, I'm very much self-aware and self-actualized to be able to tell when like something is not for me. And so that's what I was gonna say. I know I need to do. I know I need to do better and be more intentional about volunteering in Black spaces and showing up in Black spaces that are made for our advancement, because that's something I've been saying for a while that I've wanted to do. And so I was like, now how do I put that into execution? Like I told y'all, like, don't just think about it, do it. So how do I go from this is how I want to show up in my community to actually showing up in my community? Oh, even that sounded like very heavy and powerful, but I think that's because I know how controversial my thoughts can be, and I know that with the right support systems I can make a lot of change in this world and in our society and for Black people. um, and that's why, like, I really am trying to be more intentional about using my voice and my platforms to share these ideologies with other people, because I think something else that happens is just like, you're not receptive until you're receptive. Like sometimes somebody can tell you something a million times, but you're just not going to hear it until you hear it how you wanted to hear it or whatever. So in that sense of things, like how do we give people the time to be like, hey, here's the gifts, but when you're ready. I think that's another thing that we rush in this world of instant gratification. We rush the process of relationships. Like, people, sometimes we just have to take time and be there with people. And as I say that, I'm having to take that advice for myself as well, because I had a recent situation. With a new friend where I did a favor for her essentially, and she pretty much hated it. And so it's like, okay, how do I not put myself in this position again, while also like just being graceful with your process? Because personally, I did everything that I could in that moment and in that situation to make both of us happy, and still, like, you can't always guess where other people's emotions are gonna go. And so I said that to say, like, to really just be detached and self-assured enough to be like, okay, this isn't serving me, and I can move on to the next situation or the next solution. And yeah, I don't know. I just had so much fun yapping, but definitely happy Juneteenth to all my kinfolk, skinfolk, all the cousins. Yeah, show up in your community, man. It's summer, so like, but make your face known. Like, become become who you say you are, or who you say you want to be, and not just saying it. I don't know. And do your history, do your knowledge. Um, Research and learn more and as much as you can about our history, because personally, like, I kind of grew up with that programming of just like how we have to play the game and like how America has always like being down on us. So I've been at my big age, I realize not a lot of my peers do have those insight, that level of insight. So make sure you're learning. Just because you're not in school, just keep learning. And can't remember my last thought. I'm just really hungry. I just want to go home. But love you guys. Peace and love and light.